Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV here in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays, being joined by the one and only Jim Lampley. The Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney press conference just finished. You, of course, are hosting a live chat for the pay-per-view on Saturday, but what'd you make of the gameness that happened just a few moments ago, Jim?
What a theatrical performance.
From who? From both?
Well, no, mostly from Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is the motivator of all of the theatrical drama that is generated on social media and in appearances like the one that took place here today. Devin is a character in the drama, but the drama is being driven by Ryan and his urge to move the meter with public theatricality.
So, given that, if this is like a more or less well, it is a theater of an unexpected, to quote, right, your friend
Larry Merchant,
Larry.
yes.
But what happens to the main character in this? Is it a tragic ending, or is it like a hero's ending for him, for Ryan Garcia?
Well, I think that either guy can win the fight. This is not a sure thing fight. I think that logic says you favor Devin Haney, because in any fight where one guy has to be cast as the puncher and must try to land a fight-changing punch in order to win, then he's the underdog. So Garcia is the logical underdog here against Devin Haney, who is seen, and I think logically seen, as the purer boxer, the more consistent performer, the guy with the best chance to keep the fight under control within an envelope that he can manage and cruise to a decision victory, and do so in such a way that Garcia finds himself more and more desperate for an answer as the fight goes on and takes some risks that might not play in his favor. All those things seem at this moment to favor Devin Haney, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's open and shut that Haney's going to win the fight, because Garcia could land a left hook. The left hook is the one punch of all the punches in the boxer's repertoire that's most likely to instantly change a fight, because it's the hardest punch to see coming. And if Ryan Garcia lands the right kind of left hook, he's got enough power that he could change the fight.
So I get all that, but I would think, fans that have been on the pulse of this build-up to this fight would be like, Jim, you're right, but Ryan's been acting really crazy. Yes. And we might see like a Galata-type meltdown at some point, or I just don't have faith in that he'll do well, that he's been taking this serious.
So how much of that is because Ryan is not in control of his public personality and is driven by compulsions that he can't quite reel in to do things that look bizarre, that seem to be aimed at gathering attention, that seem to be aimed at putting the opponent off balance, thinking, oh boy, I'm getting ready to fight a crazy person? And how much is it because he is willfully dictating that kind of behavior and choosing to create that kind of psychological aura going into the fight? It's one or the other. Or maybe it's some combination of both. But at the end of the day, you have to suspect that a lot of what Ryan is doing is aimed at achieving an effect, and isn't just because he can't control himself.
You've had a lot of fighter meetings with said people in the past that have had issues coming into fights. When you see him, do you think there's something going on, or do you think he's acting?
I think there's something going on. I instinctively like him personally, okay? Up close, having conversation with him, he's enough of a people pleaser that he wants me to feel that he appreciates me. I appreciate that, because I'm, positively affected by people pleasers, et cetera, et cetera. So I walk out of an interview with Ryan Garcia, I shake his hand, I smile, I think to myself, okay, I've got a new friend, da-da-da-da-da. All that means is that it could mean that he's sucking me in and using me as part of his overall psychological game. All power to the user. But at the end of the day, I don't know him well enough to make a clear judgment as to whether he is crazy or crazy like a fox. It's one or the other.
Or he's just
The behavior is crazy.
Oscar-worthy
So the
actor,
behavior is
maybe.
totally crazy. So he's either crazy or he's crazy like a fox.
A crazy good actor, if that's the case. Or maybe it is a mix of both, a little sprinkle of truth there with that, Jim.
Well, when he gets to the point where he wants to bet $500,000 on the weigh-in weight or something like that, that's when his father reaches out and grabs his arm and says, hey, wait a minute, hold on.
Which got me kind of worried that he's not going to make weight. Did you get that worry?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are lots of things that could possibly go on. We don't know what they are.
Given that, then, the night of the fight, you were there for many meltdowns in the ring. Do you think we see something like that? Did you know ahead of a time that something like that was going to happen? And are you getting any red flags, any spidey senses that we might see something like that?
You're talking about Lennox Lewis versus Oliver McCall, for instance,
And
that kind
others,
of thing.
Yeah.
Right. I think they're going to get into the ring and fight, and I think that once they get into the ring and fight, it's up to Haney to make sure that it's a technical boxing match, and it's up to Garcia to make sure it's something other than that. And whatever Garcia can do to generate or encourage a firefight, that's probably helpful to him. And whatever Haney can do to make sure that it is a technical boxing match and takes place under the rules of the sport and is under control, that's helpful to him.
My last one for you, Jim, just because you have perspective. The way this fight has been sold on Ryan's end, is it any different from any of the other fights you've covered, you've seen? Is this approach different? I see Fred right here plugging it. By the way,
it's a live chat on ppv.com at ringside with LA Times boxing writer Lance Pugmire. They comment on what goes on in the fight in text. You too, as a member of the audience, can join into that stream.
Oh, that's why he gets paid the big bucks. Fred Sternberg right over here off camera.
Be sure you include that part.
But yeah, you've seen so many build-ups to fights. The way this fight has been, sold, marketed by Ryan, how does it compare to the other fights in the past, just overall with perspective?
It's fun. Boxing is, as Larry Merchant always said, theater of the unexpected. So here you have a visible press conference element suggesting to you we're into the world of the unexpected. We don't know for sure what's going to happen here. That's fun.
Yeah, next thing we get someone coming from the ring like Fan Man or something, but it's closed right here. Hey, Jim, man, as always, thank you. I really appreciate these chats I have with you. Thank you so much.
Thank
here
you.
with Jim Lampley, Marcos Villegas in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays this Saturday. Ryan and Devin, they square off on pay-per-view.
ppv.com.